So we've come to the end of a very good deluxe edition to a wonderful album. It's kind of bittersweet saying that, because I've had so much fun covering Bullet for My Valentine. As I've stated previously, they've been a big favorite of mine over the many years I've listened to metal music, real signatures in my playlist, and in the European music world of things. They're absolutely a wonderful group. And this deluxe edition, which I love the standard edition, all 10 tracks are released previously, but this deluxe edition has not disappointed for me in any way. All 4 tracks I've covered previously on this channel, Omen, Stitches, No More Tears to Cry, and just now, Step Out from the Inside, good all around. And that last track was beautiful. I mean, I do prefer, in terms of the metal I listen to, music of a more aggressive edge, but a beautiful ballad number. Very peaceful song. Did, again, have that rock foundation that has a similar feeling to the rest of the album. And it fits really well, but it is a beautiful piece. But it's kind of bittersweet, coming to the end. It really is. I'm like, I wish there was more to the album. As I've also stated previously, this is my fun version of paying penance for my mistake and that I didn't cover the standard edition like I should have. I wasn't covering music. Music wasn't as big of a presence on my channel back then. Although in the months since, I've made substantial headway in that. It's been a long-term goal of mine. And I really wish more than anything that I'd been able to cover the standard edition. Every time I listen to it now, because it's so good all around, I have regrets in that I wasn't able to offer my first reactions to those songs publicly and offer, just my opinion 10 times, in fact, on how good this album is. But the deluxe edition, it was a fun way, again, for me to correct my mistake. And listening to the album in its entirety, which I didn't know when it started I do, but I'm like, I really liked the first 3 tracks. I decided this with No More Tears to Cry. I'm like, I'm going to cover the rest of the album. It's only 2 more tracks. It's fun all around. I don't tend to do full album reactions too often, but I've really enjoyed BFMV. And maybe I'll do it in the future, too. Who knows? I mean, we'll probably have a long while to wait till a new album comes out, but this deluxe edition has been wonderful. So now we come to This Means War, the last track. I'm assuming this is maybe going to, heighten the energy a bit. I mean, a name like This Means War kind of signals that to me. We'll see. I've previewed the lyrics, and of course, like normal when I produce a music reaction, I will offer the lyrics for you should you choose to read along with the song from a narrative standpoint. But we're going to listen to the track together for the first time. Again, it's sad. I've liked this album all the way around. I want it to continue, but okay. We'll have to wait for maybe a little while, but it's been fun. I cannot wait to add at least this one more track to the list. Here we go. This Means War. Let's enjoy this, hopefully. I'd imagine we're all going to. We'll see. Bringing back the consistency of the first 3 tracks. In terms of the energy. It's good. Solid riff, too. Beautiful structure. Ooh, I like that harsher whisper. It's good. Mounting up. Ah, it's good. Frontman's vocals here are excellent as always. Oh, that's good. I like that line. It's quite the picture. Softer intro here. I really like the pacing of his voice in this part. And the tune's just excellent. Oh, that's a good line. Yeah, the pacing of that's just beautiful. Here again, have a riff here. Be familiar with Bullet for Valentine? I don't know. We've only got about a minute and 30 to go, so I'm not sure they have time for that here, but they might just stick with this. We'll see. A little bit. Kind of that same structured riff there. I don't know, I think their solo guitarist, getting a little chance like he does usually for most of their songs, especially on the ones with the harder side that just go all out. Okay, probably not, but it's fine. I think like a subtle vibe there. Yeah, it's great to get that scream in the ending. That's good. Good structure to that. That's beautiful. And that's the ending to the albums, or the deluxe edition, so that's what wraps it all up. And I feel that the energy of that track, while I would say a bit lower in comparison to at least some of the standard edition ones, and I guess even to, I'd say maybe this is an energy level that is comparable to Omens. I think Stitches is probably the harshest. Yeah, I'd say Omens I think is a good comparison to this, and I like Omens again. I loved all these tracks all around, but it definitely, I would say, kind of scale. It's sort of in that middle space. I don't necessarily feel like this gets as harsh as Parasite or Paralyzed or Stitches. This kind of, again, it's a nice middle ground that maintains the consistency of the entire album. It's a good piece. I mean, again, I like that standard riff he's got in the background, and the vocal pacing on that specifically. I mean, the vocals, of course, are fabulous, again, in their in the way that Matt can sing. He's just a beautiful vocalist, but the pacing of that song, specifically in connection to the vocals, was very interesting. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was I really happened on this. I'll be able to, of course, see this in post, but there was somewhere in here where there's just the way he's, I think it was, well, I know towards the end, I thought there was somewhere before that, I may have that wrong, but where he said, I guess that this means war, and then he introduces the next verse, and that's where war happens. I'm like, that's good. I mean, I probably maybe try to blend that into the entire measure, but I like how it jumps. It was a really good element, in my opinion. It's unexpected. I like that. And even the message is good too. I mean, it has that kind of like vengeful fighter vibe. But sort of like, it's sort of at the same time as saying, like a bad situation, which many of the songs generally in this album, again, have spoken to. Maybe more in a broad respect, maybe they pointed to things. I'd say it's a very emotionally respondent album. That's at least in the way I've felt, generally about it, especially with the last 4 tracks on the deluxe side. But this is sort of like the resolution, right, to opposition. Like, just very line where he's talking about, like, this means war, or you keep on twisting the knife and I keep ripping it out. I like that end bit, too. People use, like, the line twisting the knife a lot, so I speak to this from, like, a writing standpoint. Perhaps to, some people might come across, even myself, maybe in certain veins, it might be seen as kind of like, it's a bit of a cliche example, but I like the way it's wrapped up, and its completion with that end bit about I keep ripping it out. It's a nice, I think it doesn't come across as so consistent to what I've generally heard, and so the line works, in my opinion, and plus it's a great blend to the song. It's a very visual illustration. Like other points of the song too, you keep throwing it up. I'm like, well, I think we all saw it. I don't know, maybe not you. I'm like, oh no, in the middle of like a war scene, I'm like, I'm seeing vomiting. It's not necessarily the most pleasant illustration, but okay. It does fit with the song, but it's a good, piece all around. I mean, even again, like the lines themselves, besides that, like, pain, now you vow to open, to drown your empty ocean. It's good writing, which has been, again, all around with this album. It's a good wrap-up. Again, like I said, I still think in terms of the overall lineup of what we heard for the start from the Deluxe and what I've been able to cover on this channel, Stitches is my favorite. But this is good. I think it harkens back to the energy of the album pretty well in regards to its main foundation. I think all the tracks kind of fit in energy to this, generally, at least at one point or another. So it feels like, again, a good finale piece. What are your guys' thoughts of This Means War? I mean, it's a good song. I like it. Again, 5 tracks to this point. Have been a real pleasure to cover Bispy and Bullet for My Valentine, but I do feel perhaps, maybe the energy is scaled down a bit, and maybe the more aggressive songs, at least like Paralyzed and Parasite, make slightly more of an impression. It's still a good song all around, and it is a good finale piece. Maybe you feel differently. Maybe this is the first impression for you in regard to Bullet for My Valentine, or perhaps maybe you feel the same as me, and maybe you're a more familiarized Bullet for My Valentine fan. I'd love to hear what standpoint you come from, what your thoughts are on the song, or overall down below. Of course, in the future, whenever something new from Bullet for My Valentine comes out, I will not make the mistake I did with the standard edition and not covering it. I will definitely feature, whenever that'll be, their new stuff on my channel. Perhaps I'll be able to go back. I've also mentioned this previously in regards to other artists. Perhaps I have the same regret on. I'm starting a new channel as of the next year. It's launching production pretty soon. I'm going to unveil it, at least, I'm hoping for the goal point of January 1st, 2023. But it's called Symphonies and Small Talk, and I make reference to this on pretty much almost all music-related coverage I do on this channel. This channel and that channel are going to be integrated, and they're both themed in part. I mean, this one's a little broader in its approach, but both feature music-related stuff. This is going to be more about like first impressions to new music and stuff like that. That channel is going to be music, perhaps, that I'm familiarized with, that I want to give more of a showcase to. Songs that have inspired me, or artists that I feel, deserve a bit of a spotlight. And I have many artists that are lined up, Bullet for My Valentine being one, in part because some of the songs on the album, I'm looking for like specific pieces that really stand out to me in regards to just the talent and creativity of the piece, as well as perhaps the message. I like talking about both levels of music in that regard, because music for me, again, is just one of those art forms that I feel, as much as I like stuff that I primarily cover in this channel within the visual space, music for me has always been a first love, and it's impacted my life in many ways. It's an art form that I would say triumphs all the others, and just my appreciation for it. I'm going to be covering at least some songs again that I feel will really like highlight listens for me, whether it be on the artist standpoint or the song standpoint or whatever attribute it might be. Bullet for My Valentine, based on at least a good helping of the tracks I've heard on this album in regards to the standard edition, the stuff I wish I'd been able to give a first reaction to, I will feature on that channel. So some tracks I wasn't able to give my first impressions to, you'll get my possibly 20th impression of. I don't know how many times I listen to the songs in general, probably even more than that, but that channel is going to highlight good music, and Bullet for My Valentine, alongside many other groups, many of which are in the rock space as well, and metal space, will be making an appearance there. So if you're interested, keep your eyes peeled for 2023, and that's where we'll be able to showcase at least some more Bullet for My Valentine footage as we wait for more music in regards to new stuff. But as a good wrap-up to this album, I think this is a serviceable finale. I think it was a beautiful track, as always, with this album. It really maintains, again, the consistency that I would say has been present on the self-titled release. It's been a lot of fun to listen to these tracks all around. The Deluxe Edition, beautiful add-on. Wonderful, in my opinion. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.